Did you know that Anthony Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd, Anthony Fantano has a top secret YouTube channel in which he espouses hateful, racist views to cater to his alt-right following? I had no idea because it's just so fucking top secret. It's so fucking top secret, this YouTube channel is, that it's practically on the fucking deep web. It's so fucking top secret that it has 400,000 subscribers. Goddamn, I wish my YouTube channel was that fucking secret. You probably already know that a publication known as The Fader recently published a hit piece on Anthony Fantano, basically trying to paint him as a racist, alt-right sympathizer. Which, honestly, if you know anything about him, is like the most ridiculous, hilarious accusation.
Healthcare is a right, college should be free, legalize all drugs, end U.S. imperialism, take power away from corporations, and favor 90s scrams bans. Yes, I fully agree with everything you said here. Poopson, thank you very much.
But, you know, not everybody has to be his fucking biographer. I mean, granted, they say that they took 6 months to write this fucking thing, but, you know, it's a busy 6 months. Now, when these kinds of articles are published, a lot of times the fan base is quick to say things like, oh, this is slander, this is libel, and the thing about those terms is that they have specific legal definitions that often aren't fulfilled by the article. In this case, however, there is one instance of something, and I'm not a lawyer, but I think that there's one instance of something that can actually be considered libel against both Anthony Fantano and Sam Hyde. Before I get into that, though, I want to address some smaller points. One of the most amusing sections of this article to me is his criticism of Anthony Fantano's meme videos about rappers, the Greatest Rapper series. In particular, his video, XXX Tentacion is the greatest rapper. Now, the focus of these videos is very often mocking the fan base of the artist, or in the artist himself, how people think certain artists are, you know, the deepest, the best person, they'll defend them to the death over anything. And that's kind of funny to me how much the author misses the point in this video, in particular over a specific joke. Well, a couple of specific jokes. A part of it is that X had been accused of domestic assault against his girlfriend. Now, the author takes Fantano's mockery of how the fan base reacts to this. He took his mockery of that and made it to be like, oh, well, Fantano supports this. He's making light of it. He's not stepping into the house of hip-hop with the utmost respect. Meanwhile, if you look at what he's actually doing, you know, stupidly going, free X, free X, free X.
Free X, free him now. I don't really care what he's not free for.
He's not mocking domestic assault. He's mocking people who defend people who commit domestic assault. He is literally making fun of the thing that you are saying he is doing. This is why people are coming to you saying that you don't understand irony and you don't understand sarcasm. Another point of this is that the guy, there's a screenshot here where there's a black kid with a white noose tied around his neck. That white noose? It's fucking toilet paper, my dude. It is fucking toilet paper. You know, the toilet paper noose thing was a bit of a minor meme for all. You could find tons of pictures of kids wrapping toilet paper around their neck and hanging themselves. I think it's pretty obvious that a number of these kids who took these pictures do not support the lynching of black people. You know, it's a form of what some of us might refer to as a meme, something that the author clearly has no connection to, has no understanding of that or irony or sarcasm, and that it can be even further demonstrated when you have people tweeting references to these kinds of memes at him, and he takes them literally. The author literally thinks this kid on Twitter is gonna go watch Rick and Morty to increase his IQ. I mean, I guess this guy, people like him, they're just so sick of being fucking out of touch that their fucking only connection to meme culture has fucking iFunny watermarks on it, that they just attempt to marry it to the alt-right. The alt-right has no fucking ownership of Chan culture, of meme culture, anything like that, yet people who have no fucking idea what they're talking about are constantly trying to conflate the two. We should have seen this coming when people were trying to say, oh, Pepe is a symbol of the alt-right, he's a hate symbol now, even though people have, and continue to do so, have made tons of innocuous memes that have nothing to do with any kind of racism, any kind of politics at all. He's been a part of that, but now he's a hate symbol. Now all memes are a fucking hate symbol. There's also the point he brings up, oh, why is it that Fantano made videos making fun of black rappers like X, but he doesn't make videos making fun of white rockers? I mean, first off, there's this implication that rock is for white people only that you've made. If I can pretend to be offended for a moment, as an Asian rock musician, fuck you. But realistically, and I know a lot of my followers might be butthurt by this, but you know, it's not a value judgment, it's a statement of fact, that hip-hop is simply more popular and culturally relevant right now than rock music is. I could not think of a single current white rock musician that he could make a video imitating or making fun of that would have the same level of popularity as a black hip-hop artist like X. But you know, in the interest of fairness, sometimes you just don't see why something's funny. Sometimes you just don't get it, sometimes you do get it and you just don't like it. That's fair. If somebody's watching this and thinks that there's never been a joke that they just didn't understand why it's funny, you're fucking lying. In the interest of fairness, I will allow that author the benefit of the doubt. What I will not give the author the benefit of the doubt for is a section of the article in which he takes Sam Hyde's comments on the Needledrop podcast out of context, so out of context that it makes it look like he's talking about rape and that he's looking to assault Lena Dunham outright. Now with Sam Hyde, he's kind of a politically questionable dude. There's a lot of things that he's said and done that I wish he hadn't said and done, and Anthony Fantano has actually expressed the same concerns. But at the end of the day, I still think he's a fucking funny guy.
He's a funny guy.
If Fantano is guilty by association, then I'm also guilty by association for having referenced him a number of times on my channel. In fact, it's kind of funny to me, one of the publications who has been regurgitating this story is also guilty by association, the AV Club. The AV Club is one of the websites that has republished the article slandering Anthony Fantano, yet I can also find an AV Club article lavishing praise on $1 Million Extreme and Sam Hyde. Take in the work of the comedy provocateurs in $1 Million Extreme. There's an article in which the AV Club refers to Sam Hyde's work as surprisingly slick. They liken some of his sketches to hanging out with some very funny dudes. So AV Club, if you're guilty by association for praising Sam Hyde in any kind of way ever, you owe us all a fucking apology. But anyway, now let's get into the fucking specifics of the libel. Hyde's conversation with Fantano is horrific, offensive, and enlightening as to where both men stand. Fair warning, he describes rape and murder. At one point, Hyde brings up Lena Dunham and explains in detail what he'd like to do to her. "I'll take extra time, okay?" he says. "I'll be nailing her. I'll be punching her in the back of the neck, blah, 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 blah." So now there's a lot of things to unpack here. First off, the rape accusations. If you actually listen to that segment of the podcast, nowhere at all does he say anything about rape, anything that could really reasonably be construed as talking about raping Lena Dunham. But once they level those accusations in the article, they edit it to make it sound like that. "I'll take extra time. I'll be nailing her." These are things that, especially since we've been set up now to think it's about rape, it sounds like rape if you take it out of the context being that there's nothing sexual about this statement at all. He's saying nailing her like he's fucking punching her, and even though you might say, oh, that's still fucked up, it's fucked up because you've lost the fucking context. The context has deliberately been taken from you, and that context, let me show it to you.
I'm sorry, okay? And if she ever fucks with me, if she ever puts me into some sort of self-defense situation.
Time out. A lot of people are going to hear this podcast.
Yeah.
So, okay.
If she puts me in a self-defense situation, okay, and I have to legally defend myself, okay, I'm not going to initiate violence against her.
Okay.
But if she comes at me in an alleyway, tries to do anything,
I don't really know if that's her reputation.
I'm going to fuck her up so badly.
A self-defense situation, and that's where the humor comes from, that this is such an absurd setup that he's repeatedly saying that I would only do this legally if I was forced to defend myself. The fact that he says that and then he goes into such explicit detail creates this humorous contradiction. It's basically another form of the "he's coming right for us" joke from South Park. Furthermore, now that the author has removed the context that makes the joke a joke, he says, "Oh, you might be wondering what exactly the joke is here, but Fantano finds it hilarious." Let me show you the part that Fantano found hilarious.
If she ever did anything to me to warrant that legally, now I would never, ever initiate violence against her.
The way that you said
but that's what would happen.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Oh, what's that? He's laughing at the self-defense bit? The legal bit? The thing that makes the joke absurd, that makes it a joke? That's the part he's laughing at? You know, not the part that didn't exist about Sam Hyde beating up Lena Dunham unprovoked? But there you go. Once again, I'm not a fucking lawyer. I don't know if this constitutes libel, but I think at the very least there is a case for it. Now, considering that Anthony Fantano has taken surprisingly long to address this, I wouldn't be surprised if he has consulted a lawyer, and Sam Hyde, I know Sam has seen my videos before. If you're watching this, I highly recommend that you lawyer the fuck up and sue the shit out of these people. Anyway, that's all for now. The Fader can go get fucked.